catching sight of an expression which, unlike Nick's before he left, telegraphed his intention. "Ah, you've decided not to sail again next season," Tom stated. Yanis shrugged, silent. He hung his head as if letting Tom down was the last thing he wanted, which again was a damn sight more than Nick had managed. Tom's glower was only caused in part by the brightness of the sunlight. He shielded his eyes regardless, wishing he'd done the same for his stupid soft heart which still twinged with worry. "Let's get out of the sun," he said, gruffer than he intended. He led the way below deck, his nav table taking up most of the room, his logbook atop it, open on a flowchart of all the repairs still outstanding. He closed it to give the kid his full attention. "What's up?" He gestured to the stool opposite. "Take a seat and tell me." Yanis sat, biting his lip instead of speaking. "Whatever it is, I'm not going to be angry with you, I promise." Tom took a guess that he hadn't had the best of voyages either. Most clients were good people, but their last ones had more money than manners. As he watched, Yanis paled, and a hot-looking stripe across one cheek stood out by comparison. "Hey, let me take a look at your face." Protective hackles rising, he asked, "Did someone already get angry with you?" Yanis flinched, leaving Tom certain he'd guessed correctly. "I dropped the bag onto the jetty when our guests were leaving," Yanis said, devastated, as if he'd tossed a child overboard rather than dropped a piece of luggage. "That's no reason for violence." "Oh, no," the deckhand backtracked. "I tripped over my own feet." He touched the spot on his cheek that, now Tom peered closer, was more scuffed than bruising. "Got myself against the rail. That's when I dropped the bag." His next words were hushed, the tip of one finger tracing the compass logo on his crew T-shirt. "He said he'd complain about me. Make sure I don't work again in this business." Tom picked up a pencil to log the details, his eyes narrowing. "People say a lot of things." And damn it, if for the third time that morning, Nick might as well have been in the room with them, sliding uninvited onto Tom's lap and promising he'd do better, like he hadn't always planned on leaving. "They say a lot, but that doesn't mean you should believe them." He set the pencil down rather than stab himself as a distraction from any more pointless wondering. It was a battle he soon lost. "I shouldn't have pushed him away when he tried to kiss me," Tom couldn't help thinking. "If I hadn't, he'd still be here, and I could—" Tom could what exactly? Give in the moment Nick turned his sea-glass gaze Tom's way again? Relent and make him the exception to his no-fucking-the-crew rule? Go on shore leave with Nick instead of alone, like usual? And do what next? Sail off into the sunset with him forever? All of that was bollocks. Nothing more than a midlife crisis. He forced himself to tune back into his deckhand. I'm not sure I'm cut out for this job," Yanis said, his shoulders slumping. "Working on a charter yacht isn't anything—" Like he'd expected. Crewing for rich clients wasn't all sleeping in and sunbathing. Like he'd hoped for. It actually meant seeing more of cleaning supplies than exotic beaches. Sympathy rose in Tom, wave-like and familiar. The real world hadn't met his teenage expectations either. "Hey, listen to me for a moment." He waited until Yanis looked up. "Okay, so not everyone is cut out for the job. But that doesn't mean you wouldn't be great at something else." "Something else?" Tom opened the ship's safe and withdrew some sealed envelopes. He shuffled through them. "I know you've only been aboard for a short time, but it's been long enough for me to notice where you've got real potential." Those slumped shoulders started to straighten. "You're great with kids, patient, and very good at helping them learn to dive and snorkel. You're a natural with them in and out of the water, so focus on what you're good at." He set one of the envelopes face down. "The first deckhand I hired this year is a great example of someone who did that."